the sensitization on traffic safety during Ember months. We are already in that season that is often referred to as Ember months, during which traffic corridors are usually busy, resulting to several accidents which injure people and claim lives. Over the years, it has been a trend that during this time, there is a beehive of activities as people are struggling from one end to the other to make ends meet. And at the time that Nigeria is grappling with economic hardship, biting hunger, as well as the hike in fuel prices, the resultant effect of these accidents will further compound the condition of living for citizens. This is why we have chosen to give a sensitization on the safety measures and tips that as you ply the traffic corridors this time, you should be conscious of, so as to avoid throwing the nation and our families into an unnecessary situation that could result to loss of lives as well as injuries that people will sustain. We have been joined on this discussion by the Corps Commander, that is the Sector Commander, Federal Road Safety Corps, Benue State Sector Command. Corps Commander Steve Ayodele is our guest on Perspectives. Welcome to Agate Radio, Corps Commander Ayodele.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning, my listeners.
Also with us is the founder and chief executive officer, 24-Hour Road Accident Victim Support Initiative, TRAVSI. He is a former senior special assistant to the former Benue State Governor, Public Utilities. He has several former titles. Mr. Gaddafi Asemanya. Welcome to Perspectives, Mr. Asemanya.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Benue.
I am Nathaniel Nongu, welcoming you to this Wednesday edition of Perspectives. And if this is your first time tuning in, Perspectives takes the air between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And it is an audience participatory program which you can phone in or send a message to participate. To do so, make the microphone yours later at 10 o'clock by calling in on 0814-335-9292. 0814-335-9292. You may send us an SMS to 0912-699-9404. 0912-699-9404. If you are sending an SMS or a chat to WhatsApp, please remember to include your name and where you are sending your message from. Log onto our website on www.agateradio.tv.com to listen to us as the program is streaming live there, and all content of Agate Radio, you'll find it there. If you download the Agate Radio and TV app from Google Play Store, you can also access us. You find our newspaper there, the television, as well as listen to the radio. We're available on Radio Garden and social media platforms. I'd like to begin with you, Corps Commander Ayodele. What is this a special slogan or hype about Ember months, especially as it relates to traffic situations?
Thank you. Ember month, as we know, is full of activities. Ember month is a period where people travel to their locality for town hall meeting, for so many activities, festival, and all the rest. It's a period where the vehicular movement on the road is very, very high. It's a period where people who have been away from their locality travel to see their loved ones. So, owing by that situation, definitely the road will be very busy during this period. Both vehicular movement will be very high on the road. And this is a period that calls for serious caution because of the increase in vehicles on the road.
Okay, Mr. Asemanya, you have been involved in handling traffic emergencies, accident victims. Help us understand what has been your experience during Ember months.
Thank you very much, Agate Radio and Television, and our listener out there. I want to first of all thank this institution for giving us this opportunity to come and educate people and sensitize people on this period. This Ember month, as people often know, a lot of people, like this morning, somebody was asking me, what does it mean by Ember month? I say Ember month is a period of the month of the year, September, October, November, December. These 4 months are, in Nigerians, are the generally associated with the higher risks in travels, road crashes, compared to other months of the year, because of people who are, because it's coming to the end of the year, everybody wants to meet up with the necessary things they are looking for. That is, people want to make more money during this period. People also want to travel from different locations to come and enjoy festive period with their family. So the road will be very, very busy, and it's going to be characterized with a lot of road crashes. But there are also some factors that led to some of these anxiety, people who want to travel to the villages and the rest. There are a lot of factors that is attribute. Increase in road traveling, drunk driving, overloading too is associated to it. A rice that you can buy in Makurdi for 60,000 or 70,000, somebody will prefer to buy it in Abuja because it's the same amount he's buying, and he's going to pay transport for it. And by the time he puts it inside the car has its own weight. So then dangerous excessive speeding, then poor vehicular maintenance, and of course we will not rule out this other issue of the state of our roads in the country now. Most of the trunks, highways are very poor. It's now that they are trying to fix some of them. All those are the characteristics that lead to these road crashes.
Okay. Corps Commander Ayodele, recently, just a few days ago, Muslims around the country and in Benue celebrated Eid al-Maulud. What was the traffic corridor experience like in terms of safety of commuters before we dive deeper into Ember months?
Okay, thank you. The Eid al-Maulud was celebrated a few days ago. There was no much difference in terms of vehicular movement on the road, but however, we experienced a little surge, and because of what we have in Benue State, because of what we have deployed, we didn't really have any problem, because we have actually deployed some of our men at most of our critical corridors to ensure that there's free flow of traffic, to ensure that accident victims are attended to where necessary. So we didn't really have a much problem on the road. Like I said, the traffic volume was not too high compared to other periods.
Okay, no any case of accident was recorded amongst the travelers, especially those who may have been traveling for the purpose of joining their families to celebrate around Benue?
No, in Benue State we did not record any.
Okay, but typically around Ember months, what is the usual experience of the traffic corridors in Benue State?
Yes, usually we experience a high volume of traffic, and as such, to attend to such, we make sure that we deploy our men at critical corridors. For example, like in Agan, we have a camp there at a toll gate along Lafia Road. We have a permanent camp there for this period of Ember month, and what they do is to attend to victim of road traffic crash. We have a recovery vehicle to make sure that crash to other road users. So once we are informed, once we are told, we'll make sure that we go there and remove our telephone line is a 24 hours standby rescue team to attend to accident victims anywhere across the state. We have 12 unit commands: Boko, Otukpo, Kastinala, Zakibiam, Vadekia, and so many of them. So once we are told that there's a crash, we'll get in touch with the nearest command to that scene to go and attend to them and take them to the nearest medical facility. So these are some of the things we do. And like I said, during the Ember month, we also make sure that we carry out enforcement to ensure that traffic offenders don't go scot-free. We have a mobile court sitting as well, where the traffic offenders will be arraigned before magistrate, and they will be prosecuted, either fines or some of them even jailed, depending on the gravity of the offense committed. We also make sure that we deploy our men at critical corridors within the metropolis. For example, like Wurukun roundabout. We make sure that vehicles are not parked on the road, so as not to obstruct traffic flow. So these are some of the things we do during the Ember month.
Okay, Mr. Asemanya, our focus majorly is on prevention. We do not even want the accident to occur for the victims to be there. So during this time, what are the basic safety tips that commuters need to imbibe for us to have a hitch-free Ember month observance?
Yeah, thank you very much. Just as I've said, commuters, especially motorists, the commercial one, because they are the ones that usually are looking for they're looking for more money during this period, because the volume of the traffic and volumes of passengers that are issues that led to these accidents. One, you start from their park. Most of them, if you go to see, sometimes the vehicle we get loaded, they are looking for the driver. By the time because our NGO go around to also assess the attitudinal behavior of these drivers out of where their vehicles are, either cross opposite where there is a beer parlor. In some parks, you see people who sell provisions, who are selling some kind of drinks they call recharge card, a boya, all these energy drinks. You see them, they will go there and start taking it. And most drivers who, especially some companies that don't have regulations, because if you drive a vehicle from Maiduguri or Abuja to Makurdi, you are supposed to park it in your office or in your garage. But you see, most of these drivers still carry this vehicle around in the night. You see the vehicle parked in a club, in a nightclub, or in an open drinking place. They will drink till 12 to 1 o'clock. And by the time they stand up from that particular spot, they are the one who are loading first ton. By the time they drive, that's why passengers need to be very cautious. And passengers need to also urgently assemble themselves and also come together as one and have a passenger association right inside the vehicle. So that by the time they should be looking at the driver's eyes, because he cannot cheat nature. As the vehicle continue moving, you discover that he will start dozing off. Sometimes he will be, before he travel from Makurdi, before he gets to Agan Toge, he has stopped like 3 times, either to ease himself or to stop to buy cola and tom-tom. All those things he's trying to prevent nature. But nature takes its own course. Other people will be pressing their phones. They are not even monitoring the driver. Before you know, he will go under the trailers. So that's why this period of time, with this collaboration we're having with the Federal Road Safety and the Nigerian Police Force, and also the motor parks, we normally go in and educate them to see the need for their drivers to be really tested. If I want to advocate for Benue State government to be able to do an enabling law that all parks, like the biggest park we have is Benue Links, let them be able to acquire testing kits so that before any driver travels out of the park, he should be able to test. They will be able to test him for his alcohol. They should be able to test him and know his blood to know whether he's fit to drive. That's why you see, if you are pilots in aircraft, you hardly see pilots. They normally confine pilots in one place. If you have a flight, they confine pilots in one place. and they put people that monitor pilots. But you cannot monitor a commercial driver who is looking for bread and gari to eat, to provide for his family. So such people need to be educated. Such people need to be sensitized. Such people need to change their attitude. And that is from the commercial point of view. What about the private owners?
I was exactly.
No, I know I'm going to come to them because the private owners who drive private cars, they are the worst of it. Because most private owners, even within the metropolis, if school is closing, you see them carry their children in front of them while they are driving without seatbelt. Or they put the children, they also contribute in holding steering with them. 2, you also see them with their bottle of gin by their side. Somebody will be putting it in a glass cup, they will be sipping. All those things are uncalled for. If you get to your destination, you can also sit and take. And that excessive speed that you see them going, and most of them, and what we normally experience during this Ember period is, there are people who save money for 2 years to buy a car, all in the name to come and show in the village. And they would learn how to drive the car in just 1 month. If you know how to drive the car within the town, what about the highway, the Federal Highway Safety Code? Most of them don't even know the Federal Highway Safety Code. They don't know where there is bending. They don't even know where they are supposed to speed. They don't even have speed limits on their card. That's why now that the sector commander is here with me, I'm also advocating that government should do a law that most of these VIP vehicles, most of these private owners vehicles that are buying big vehicles that are V8, V12, they should be subjected to speed limit, so that because they are the major cause of road crashes in our federal highways. I'm saying it without fear of contradiction, because the kind of excessive speed they take, and most of them who are unauthorized siren, they carry siren. You see private cars using siren. They are not even authorized to use siren. They will intimidate other cars, other road users. And most of the sirens they use, they are not conveying accident victims. Even though they run into an accident crashes, they don't stop to even help. They are security operatives. They are always with security men in their vehicles. They will come down and clear the road and forget about the victims of road crashes. And most of these crashes are caused by because they are those who are carrying siren. They don't obey traffic rules. They don't obey traffic light. They don't even look at other roads users as people who also are part of the road, because sometimes they carry convoys of 4 or 5 cars, and these people sometimes you discover whether maybe is it the governor convoy, is it the Central Bank of Nigeria convoy, or is it the police high chiefs that are going. Even my friend, the corps commander Ayodele, I've seen him severally driving without even blowing his siren. He hardly blows his siren. He takes the queue as other people are taking. That is the only number 1 man who can even blow the siren. But we only blow our siren when the ambulance is conveying an emergency cases. Because every minute you lose in rescuing, if you rescue from the accident crash, what is expected of you is to ensure that you get to the hospital on time in case of loss of blood, in case of the person has spinal cord injury, in case of the person have neck injury, and most dangerously, head injury or internal bleeding. That is why we use siren to ensure that people clear the road. It's just like firefighters. You must clear the road for them to get there to save lives. And that's the only primary way. But Nigerians now take delight. Anybody who is buying a new car is fixing a siren. Even the Okada boys, there are some who are even carrying siren on their bike. Scary one. You would think it's a vehicle. By the time I was on a bike one day, one guy, the way the siren sounded, my bike man almost skitched from the road. So it is good for government to revise, to revisit the laws establishing all this organization, so that, because the laws are very old now, with the new trends in development, and we have come of computer age now, a lot of things need to be adjusted. most of the laws are very old laws. The law establishing it must be very old. So I urge our National Assembly members, I urge our senators, House of Representative members, I urge our government to also look into the laws that is establishing. The essence of establishing road safety or the Nigerian police force is not to victimize victims or road users on the road. It's to caution them, to teach them how to use the road. And that's why you see penalty is being provided.
All right.
Like the sector commander has said, for 2 weeks. I think that one too will help him because of the harsh economic Nigerians are facing now.
All right. Corps Commander, you listened to Gaddafi.
Yeah.
He made several of this. He stated several of the infractions. Are you aware of these infractions in dealing with commuters, especially during Ember months, and what efforts are you making towards addressing them?
Thank you. Most of these infractions, yes, we are aware. There are things that are happening. Like he mentioned, first of all, we carry out a lot of advocacy, not just at the motor park. For example, we start with the motor park. Every morning before our patrolmen go on the road, they go to some of these motor parks and talk to both drivers and passengers, because it is not just the driver, passengers too needs to be informed. We talk to both passengers and drivers as well, and even the owner of the parks. Most of the time, it is the passengers that even distract the drivers. Most of them, they are in a hurry, probably to meet appointment, and they tend to, distract the driver by telling him to speed more. So we let them know the consequence of some of these infractions, and let them know the danger involved. We also go to worship centers, such as churches and mosques, because, like he said, it's not just the commercial drivers that are involved. Private vehicles are also involved. So we go to churches, we go to mosques. Every Sunday, we go to church to educate them. On Fridays, we go to mosque to equally educate them. We make sure that we carry out a town hall meeting where all critical stakeholders will be involved. Like we are planning one now by early week, second week in October. It's a town hall meeting that will be held in Benue State, in Makurdi, where all critical stakeholders will be invited, government functionaries, transport owners, all critical stakeholders in transport business will be invited, so that we can discuss some of these issues that lead to crashes on our road. We make sure that after advocacy, because there's a saying that public enlightenment without enforcement is just an entertainment. Because when you keep telling people, don't do this, and there's no punishment for whoever that does it, then you are not doing anything. So after we have carried out public enlightenment, advocacy, if any driver is involved in any traffic infractions, they are booked, they are punished. There are different level of punishment. I said earlier that sometimes we go on the road, we book them to go and pay fines in bank. We also carry out a mobile court sitting, where errant drivers are brought before the magistrate. The magistrate uses his own discretion to give punishment, to award punishment, either fines. Sometimes they are even jailed, depending on the weight of the offense committed. Sometimes too, we give lecture. We make sure that when a driver is booked and the vehicle is impounded, like I said, it depends on the weight of the offense committed. We make sure that we impound the vehicle and will not release the vehicle until he has attended 2 weeks public enlightenment in our office every day. So we'll make sure that he attends that lecture. We'll lecture him on the danger in the offense he has committed. So these are some of the things we do, and we make sure that drivers are cautioned on the road.
One important aspect he mentioned is the indiscriminate use of siren. What efforts are you doing with regards to addressing that particular issue where people use siren to harass and intimidate other road users?
Yes. Sometimes when we see them, we arrest them, and we make sure that such device is removed, because they are not constitutionally right to install such a siren in their vehicle. He mentioned, in fact, not just siren, there are some bikes that will install trailers horn on their vehicle, on their bike. You will see that a bike will be going on the road. Will just, when you hear the horn, you'll be terrified, thinking that it's a trailer. Meanwhile, it's a bike. We arrested one last week, and we made sure that we removed the horn. So once we get them arrested, we make sure that they will remove the device from their vehicle. And in our advocacy too, we also let the members of the public know that they are not supposed to have such thing in their vehicle.
All right. Before I get back to Mr. Gaddafi, I would like you, Sector Commander, to speak to us about driving, especially now that parts of the country are witnessing flooding. Sometimes the roads are also flooded. What are the basic safety tips that both commercial and private vehicle owners need to imbibe driving during this rainy season?
Thank you. We have to be cautious each time you are driving during rainy season. One, reduce your speed. Reduce your speed, because the road will be slippery. So you have to reduce your speed. Make sure that your wiper is working. Before you leave your house during this rainy season, whether it's rainy or not, ensure that your wiper is working. Ensure that your lighting is also good, because you need to be seen and you need to see. Sometimes when it rains, the weather may be dark. So you have to make sure that your lighting system is actually working, so that you can see and you can also be seen. Most especially, you have to go at a reduced speed when it's raining. You have to go at speed. Then when you get to where there's water on the road, you just have, if possible, depending on the intensity of the rain, if possible, you can park where it is safe. After the rain, you can continue your journey. And if you must go in that rain, make sure that you go at a very low speed.
All right, dear listener, if you are just tuning in, you are listening to Perspectives on Agate Radio 95.5 Star FM, Makudi, Benue State. We are discussing, focusing on sensitization on road and traffic safety during these Ember months. Leading the discussion here in the studio, I have with me the Sector Commander, Federal Road Safety Corps, Benue State Sector Command, Corps Commander Steve Ayodele, and the Founder and Chief Executive Officer, 24-Hour Road Accident Victim Support Initiative, Mr. Gaddafi Asemanya. They are leading us on the conversation, and later at 10 o'clock, you can participate on the program by calling in on 0814-335-9292. 0814-335-9292. You may send us an SMS or a chat to WhatsApp 0912-699-9404 is a line for you to utilize for SMS and WhatsApp. 0912-699-9404. Kindly keep your messages very brief, and remember to include your name and sign with your address where you are sending a message from. Log onto our website on www.agateradiotv.com to listen to us and access other content. Download the Agate Radio and TV app from Google Play Store to also listen to us on radio, read the newspaper, and watch the television. You can find us on Radio Garden and on social media platforms where we are also there to serve you. Mr. Asemanya, let's talk to the listener now about handling the accident victims in case of emergencies, the kind of basic procedure protocol that people need to be aware of when an accident occurs, what we should do in the immediate.
Yeah, thank you very much. That is the critical side of it, because most vehicles owners, both private and commercials, are not carrying their first aid boxes along with them. You are supposed to have a first aid box inside your car in case of any eventuality or any emergencies that has occurred, so that not everybody in the vehicle will die at the same time, and not everybody in the vehicle will sustain injury at the same time. So it's advisable that both homes, not necessarily unless you have a vehicle before you have accidents. There are accidents in various ways, but we are more concentrating on the road accidents. Once an accident occurred, mostly people, once an accident occurred, a lot of people don't even know what to do. The first thing you do, you have to, every driver has to have that national emergency line, which is the 112 or
112 and 122.
112 or 22. Once you have that emergency line, any part of, it's a free toll line, any part of Nigeria you are, there is network. You cannot say you don't have network here. You may have MTN, Glo, and Airtel. Out of these three networks, you can call, and the thing will go. And once it goes, that is the first thing you should have in mind. They will call the nearest, just as the commander has said, they will call the nearest point to come and rescue them. But you, as a driver or as a passenger, you need to know some little safety tip on paramedics, on how to stabilize an accident victims, like the ones that have fractures, either spinal cord injuries. What you do, you don't leave the car on the middle of the road while the accident happened, during the crash time, because the first respondent to these accidents are communities who are living along the federal highway. And that is what 24-hour Road Accident Victim Support Initiative has started. We are trying to train those communities living on the federal highway in collaboration with the road safety, with the Nigerian Red Cross Society, so that we can teach them some of these tips on how to, because in rescuing of accident victims from the crash site will also lead to more damage to the victims. So once there is a crash like that, that the person is not injured but he cannot move, his body is immovable, you now look for a plank and put it under him and lift him up to the walkway or to the walk path. Because if you leave him on the center of the vehicle, on the where the crash happened, sometimes the vehicles will be in the middle of the road. Another incoming vehicle that is very impatient, that is coming with its excessive speed, will come and add more injuries to the one they have already had. So once you put them by the side, you can look for a carton or a stick to put in between the legs. If it's a fracture, you put in between the leg and get either, if you don't have rope, you use any old cloth. You now tie between where there is blood is coming out. You hit the pressure on the wound so that more blood will not, the person will not lose excessive bleeding. So after doing that, you now put the person, awaiting vehicle that will move him to the nearest hospital. But for those who have head injury, those are head injury and spinal cord, they are the most critical aspect of road crashes. Either neck, head, and spinal cord. Those ones, you need to hold them very, very careful so to avoid more damage. But for those who probably, or even clothes, you tie in between the injured place that blood is bleeding, so that you will not be able to stop it completely. But the pressure you have given, it will stop the blood from gushing out. Because before you know, 1 pint, 2 pint, 3 pint, by the time the person arrives at the hospital facility, it's already gone. And by the time you say the person needs blood, that's why it's good for people to voluntarily go and donate blood to the hospital for victims of road accident and pregnant women. So once you know those things, you should be able to stop. But most cardinal, you need to also have these emergency numbers. Most people don't even have the the one of the Federal Road Safety, because if they call, they are not patient enough, because usually if you call, whoever is answering you will ask you location, time, your name, because there are a lot of fake callers. That's why they who are into, even me, even our lines that are out, people call us sometimes 2 o'clock. Somebody want to test your ability or your agility. They will call us sometimes 2 o'clock and say there's an accident in Wuruku roundabout. You'll be imagining he's not your scout. Then if I call the road safety to say they too, they've not had this kind of information, then by the time you waste your fuel and get to the accident scene, the person will say, you just want to try to know whether you can respond to an accident issue. So such people now, for we 24 hours, we will get your number and ask our lawyer to institute a legal action against you so that we can prosecute you, so that we also serve as a deterrent to others, because the fuel we are supposed to use, now that the fuel is biting very hard, to rescue 1 or 2, 3 people, you have made us to go and waste it for nothing. And a lot of people, sir, drivers of commercial vehicle need to have little first aid kits inside their vehicle, so that like iodine, spirit, cotton wood,
bandage,
clay bandage, and other
equipment systems,
other first aid, so that once it happens, even Panadol, a lot of people don't even have Panadol. I remember when I was traveling with a commercial vehicle, somebody had high fever. He couldn't, nobody in the car has Panadol. And I remember that I was carrying Panadol in my Panadol extra along with me. So when we administer it to him, before we get to a nearby hospital, the temperature now came down. So ordinary little things that will save life, people should know that they are supposed to. We didn't say that they should go and carry hard drugs, because it is, we are hearing that a lot of people carry hard drugs with commercial vehicles, and a lot of private owners too. Most crash sites will go and recover some of these people. By the time you are searching to know the identity of the person, you discover tramadol. You discover a lot of hard drugs inside the vehicle, because some of these people need to take those drugs to enable them to drive. And that's why we are calling it emotional symptoms, whereby if you have anxiety, you don't need to drive. If you have fear, you don't need to drive. If you have panic, you don't need to drive. If you are somebody who is under depression, because sometimes you see somebody who is driving alone without nobody hitting him, he will just drive to the bush and remain inside. So we have to break his glass and try to bring him out. Such people are under depression. Such people are under sadness. Such people are under helplessness. Because once you are under these symptoms I'm talking, they're even worse than the crash. They're even worse than you carrying a vehicle to hit somebody. Because they are normal people who go into the vehicle, but these are the things they normally have. And there are some people, again, if they quarrel with somebody, they have anger. If you have anger issue, irritability, or mood swing, if your mood is not bad, you take a vehicle, you go and keep the rest other road user because of the anger imbibed in you. Then guilt. A lot of people who have guilt. There are people who are even in shame. They have committed something in the society. That shame is in them. It's also symptoms of emotional trauma, which lead to accident. Then emotional detachment. There are people too who will just look at you, feel. There are some driver, it has happened. They will just see, because of the nature in which our younger generations have taken the world to be. You see a young girl will wear a bomb shot that she's supposed to wear in her own private room, house, home. She will use it and put it inside the car. Then passengers who are either pastors or imams will start attacking the young lady. Why did you dress nude and you're coming to this car? Actually, it's her right. But by the time they engage in this quarrel, it leads to road crashes too. So those are the type of things we really need to do. Then difficulties and in regulating emotions are also associated. So how does a driver attend to somebody, or even the driver himself, who is depressed, either his wife is giving him problem, or his family, And this is the time now, sir. This time we are now, it's time for school fees. Nobody is normal now. Everybody you see in the street is thinking of school fees. And the schools too. I want to use this medium.
Anyway, let's stay on the traffic issues for now.
It's still traffic, sir. It's still traffic. What I'm saying, let me learn, sir.
Okay.
What I'm saying, sir.
Yes.
Somebody who's, because of the hike in petroleum product, the schools too have also increased their school fees. And the man cannot pay. You see him walking, he didn't even know whether he has gotten to the road. He will enter the road before you know, a vehicle will just hit him.
He's distracted.
He's distracted. That's the emotional trauma we're talking about. By the time you take him to the hospital, he will say, where is he? That he was supposed to go to somewhere. That shows that depression has taken place, which lead to road crashes too.
You are correct.
Okay, Sector Commander, are there some of these major procedures?
The ones I just, it is not everybody that is that has knowledge of rescue.
Yes. Because
when a crash occurs, sometimes in a bid to rescue such victims, you add more to his or her problem. Because a victim that has a spinal cord injury needs somebody who has a technical know-how in handling them. So we encourage passers-by when an accident occurs. We have two emergency, and those of us in Benue State, we have a golden time of less than 10 minutes. Maximum of 10 minutes will be there. So once we are called, we'll make sure that the victims are taken to the hospital. If it's a minor, someone that sustained minor injury, it's okay. Even sometimes when you have a first aid box in your vehicle, you may not need to go to the hospital. Just apply some of this iodine and other things, and he goes home. But serious injury, we encourage the victims to be taken to the hospital for medical attention.
All right. With regards to transporters providing basic first aid kits in their vehicles, is there any success in that regard?
Yes.
Your engagement with the transporters?
Exactly, especially some of these fleet operators. Some of them. We engage Benue Links, and I think they are already providing first aid box in their vehicles. In Benue State, they have the largest fleet. I'm talking of Benue Links. So they are already providing first aid box in their vehicles. So we are also engaging.
How about the other transporters?
Yes.
That's just like a component.
Yes.
And then several others that are operating.
Yes, we are. That's what I'm saying. That we are also engaging other transport companies, because that's one of the major issue. One of the things we want to discuss during the town hall meeting, because all the transport owners, transport companies, all stakeholders will be involved in that town hall meeting, because henceforth, once they are told, we're going to arrest them. We're going to arrest them and make sure that they comply. But to be forewarned is to be forearmed. We'll first of all let them know the importance of carrying a first aid box in their vehicles. So once they are informed, whoever that fails to comply will definitely be arrested, will be prosecuted. We are engaging all the transport owners and companies.
Okay, now, if you are engaging them, is there any form of awareness they have on especially the speed limiting and other aspects, drunk driving, how standard a vehicle should be before it will ply the roads away from the engagement of first aid issues?
Yes. Like I said earlier before, when we came in, I said we go to motor parks, we go to their companies to early in the morning before they embark on their journey. We talk to the drivers, talk to the passengers, talk to the owner of the companies. Let them know some of the basic safety standards they need to provide, because sometimes it is not the driver. The owner of the vehicles need to provide some basic safety standards, such as the first aid box we are talking about. It is not the driver that will provide it. It is the owner of the vehicle, the owner of the company that provides such. So we go to such a company to educate them, to enlighten them, to talk to them, and make sure that they comply with minimum safety standard. speed limiting device is a compulsory device that must be installed in a vehicle. In fact, we have embarked on arresting transport commercial vehicle without a speed limiting device. And once we arrest you, we impound your vehicle and make sure that the vehicle will not be released until you install the speed limiting device. Because before now, we'll just arrest you, give you fines, you go and pay your fine, and we'll ask you to go and install it. So we discovered that most of the time they just pay the fines. Once the fine is paid, they go away doing their normal business. So henceforth, it's no longer going to be business as usual. Once you are arrested, we will be fined. I will make sure that you install the speed limiting device before your vehicle is released. Because we discovered that more than 70% of the crashes on the road are speed related. They are speed related. So if we are able to curb the effect of speed, then I believe we have actually reduced accident by 50%. So we'll make sure that commercial vehicles especially, will make them to comply with this installation of a speed limiting device.
Okay, Mr. Asemanya, it's safety of commuters. What are those basic measures that, as people ply the roads, commuters now, travelers on their own part, need to adhere to as safety tips before they board vehicles, particularly public transporters?
Yeah, thank you very much. For commuters and travelers, first of all, the fire is going to stand on the road, on the head bridge. They'll be waving at every vehicle that is going. And that is why a lot of passengers, a lot of travelers ran into one chance. They call them one chance. One chance, they will carry you, you will not get to your destination. And now that we are trying to also fight and advocate, because recently we were able to pick somebody who has lost contact for over 40 years with his people. He was trying to enter a vehicle to his destination, but he ended up in Benue State.
Okay.
So commuters need to know that manifest is very important too for them. If you go to the park, no matter how hurry you are, it's better to be late than the late. You have to go to a park, a registered park, where they will take your manifest. They will take your name, your address, and your next of kin in case of emergency. And that is the most dangerous aspect of things that we, people who provide rescue services, are facing. A lot of people don't even have ID card. A lot of people don't have national ID card. A lot of people don't have ID card in their place of work. They don't carry it along. So if you know that you don't have phone, because the phones are not guaranteed. Because once you have a phone and there's a road crash, people who are the first respondent to that crash site, especially those who are even inside the vehicle, who are not even yet, who didn't sustain injury, they are the people who will be the first person to even steal the phone from you. So when rescue team comes, like the police, the road safety, and 24 hours, you see somebody who's unconscious, but it doesn't have any means of identification. It ends up as an unknown, unclean corpse in the mortuary, or somebody who is unconscious that cannot be reunited with his family. So passengers and travelers need to take those into cognizance. Two, they should also be very vigilant with the type of vehicles they are traveling. They should look at their driver very well. Anytime he drives and he stops on the highway to go to the bush, say he wants to ease himself, sometimes he's carrying something to go and take. Either he's going to go and take, you see them with a small container of water, as if he's going to go and ease himself. By the time he goes there, it is drug that he's going to go and take. After 30 minutes of his journey, you see him start dozing, or he's taking the drug to make him fit, especially those who take this energy drink. It's really against, it's for them now to watch such driver. And sometimes again, passengers should be vigilant, because we're able to rescue some children. The driver, the man who is the trafficker, paid for 4 seats of the children and goes like mega station to go and wait for the bus. as the bus comes in, because at the park they will collect their money. They are after their money. They don't know what happened later. So by the time this picking of extra passengers on the road, say the man has paid for the seat, passengers should refuse, should disembark from their journey, because sometimes they are picking criminals element that after sometimes they will rob them on the road. Before you know, they will ask the driver to park. Probably he's a member of their gang. Probably they intelligently came to the park and paid that I'm paying for 4 seats. My other brother is on the road. We'll pick him up. Passengers should not agree, because they will fall victims of this one chance vehicle. And passengers too should be able to, because there is nowhere you drive across this country that you will not get a road safety checking point or a police checking point or any other security operative checking point. By the time they are talking to the driver, is not trying to listen to them. They should just be patient. They shouldn't engage the driver, because I've seen a case whereby the driver is moving excessively. Somebody is trying to punch him that he should reduce his speed. He's already endangering the lives of other travelers. So people should be wary of that, because a lot of people are not really sound. A lot of people have mental challenges. A lot of people have attitudinal behaviors, whereby just what I've enumerated earlier on, anger, temper, sadness, depression, can lead somebody to go and hold the steering of a car. Do you know me? Do you know me? And all that. So let passengers be very wary of that. Let them be very extra vigilant, because there are some passengers, they enter vehicle, they don't even care. What they do is that you see them 24-hour playing music. That music is distracting the driver. 2, you see them doing all manners of course. And you also see them again trying to, some of them will just slip off. They don't even know what is happening in the vehicle. So people need to be very stable. People need to be at alert to know exactly what is happening. And even now that we thank God that the road is some of the part of the roads are they are trying to fix. Unlike before, that you are traveling from Macaulay to Abuja, you know that the roads are not good.
Yeah.
And the road too contribute a lot of accident. Just like he said, during the rainy season, drivers need to on their fog light to see the vehicles that are coming. Sometimes most of these drivers don't even have good sight, and that's why it's also good, before you give your car out to any driver, subject him to eye test, because sometimes if it's 6 o'clock, he's looking at it as it's 7:30.
It's okay. It's about time now for us to engage with the listener. If you are just tuning in, the program you've been listening to is Perspectives. Our discussion is focused on sensitization on traffic safety during Ember months. Our panelists, we have the Sector Commander, Federal Road Safety Corps, Benue State Sector Command, Corps Commander Steve Ayodele, the founder, CEO, 24-hour Road Accident Victim Support Initiative. Mr. Gaddafi Asemanya is also our guest. You can participate by calling in on 0814-335-9292. 0814-335-9292. Once you connect with us, we'd like to know your name, and then you make your submission. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome
this is Godwin Zegeya, calling from Industrial Layout.
Good to have you join us, Godwin Zegeya.
Yes, I want to thank the Oga of Road Safety in the house, and my elder brother and my Oga, Mr. Gaddafi Asemanya, who have been helping the accident victim in Benue State. I want to thank all of you in the studio. It's about the road safety issue. Oga.
Hello, Godwin. Godwin, are you there? Hello. Oh, Godwin, I am afraid we may have to disconnect with you. You're on, but we really cannot hear you anymore. So maybe try to call back. The line is still open. 080-0814-335-9292. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Welcome to Perspectives. Speak up a little bit so we hear you better.
Okay, this is Magdalene from Russia.
Okay, Magdalene who?
Yohamba.
Okay, good to have you join us, Magdalene Yohamba.
Yeah, thank you. I want to be the guest in the studio.
Thank you.
This thing is worrisome. I've been wondering myself. I feel this Ember month, people feel that this is the only time they need to hustle for money to spend for Christmas. But these commercial drivers need to know that they need to leave to spend this money. So if they die in the course of looking for this money, then what was the essence of looking for the money in the first place? So I urge the road safety to always arrest these people who drive recklessly on the road, so that it will serve as a deterrent to other drivers who will eventually want to do it. Sometimes I just feel they take these people for granted. They take the road safety officers for granted. If these things are done properly, I tell you, a lot of these accidents will reduce.
Okay. Could that be all from you,
Yes,
Magdalene? Thank you.
And then they should check. These drivers that drink while driving, they should check them. Overloading. They load in the front. These things are becoming too much. Sometimes even with the passengers, when you complain, it's like the one who beats you up in their vehicle. It's terrible, I tell you. If you have been going on commercial vehicles, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
All right.
They'll tell you, if you talk to them, they've been driving for over decades and they've never had an accident. But when it happens, a lot of lives are lost. Thank you.
Thank you, Magdalene. Thank you so much for drawing our attention to that. We hope the sector commander is taking note, as this is coming from someone's experience. Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Welcome to Perspectives.
My name is James Zege.
Okay, James Zege, where are you reaching us from?
I'm calling from North Bank. I'm a driver with the teaching hospital.
Okay, good to have you join us, James Zege.
Thank you, sir. My regards to my boss, Mr. Asemanya.
Thank you.
And the officer.
Thank you.
Yes, there is something I want to inquire from you people and also advise concerning the abuse of siren. I want to ask this question. Is there any way they could enforce on, particularly on this issue of casualty ambulance? Undertaker, differentiate between undertaker and casualty ambulance. Because I'm talking precisely the case of we in Benue State. People don't respect the emergency vehicle, the casualty ambulance particularly. I am saying this because I once a victim of I was harassed by somebody. I was taking a blood to go from the main center to Muhammadu Buhari, where we were having a case in the labor room. So they called me to bring the blood immediately. So while I was blowing saline for people to clear way for me, I get to Benue Park. Around that Benue Park, and the police officer, the traffic warden there, saw me very well, and he saw the way I was rushing. He now jumped the road and stopped me and directed vehicles that were coming from these town service buses that were coming from town, turning from from Benue Park there to North Bank. He directed them to go. And then I now say, officer, I have an emergency. Say, what kind of emergency? You carry dead body and you intimidate people on the road always. So I say, I am carrying an emergency. I'm rushing to. He say, where are you going to? I should not. And he just wait. Tell me to get out, and then he concentrate on it. And again, an emergency to the main center.
Okay.
I say, what kind of rubbish is this? So people in Benue particularly, they don't know the difference between casualty ambulance and undertaker. So is there any way the road safety could do, or maybe differentiate between casualty ambulance and the undertaker? Because this undertaker, once at times, when they go to the road, they'll be blowing siren, running up and down and all that, and they are carrying dead bodies.
All right.
So I don't know whether
James Zege,
it's right to do that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome.
All right. Thank you. We'll speak to that when we come back up. Thank you so much for sharing that experience. We have noted it. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Nat.
Good to have you join us on Perspectives.
Yes, my name is Noe Ephraim from Makwehi.
All right, good to have you join us, Ephraim.
I appreciate your good work.
Thank you.
My regards to the Gaddafi and the sector commander as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Once again, good morning.
Morning.
There are certain causes of road accidents, especially in this rush hour, which is the Ember month. It could be the driver, it could be the vehicle, or it could be the weather. These are major causes of the accident. On the side of the driver, it could be either anxiety, drunkenness, impatience, or overconfidence. Then the stability of the vehicle, which is being the vehicle itself, which is mechanical, circumstantial, or psychological, as the case may be. Then the weather, and then our conversance with the road we are using. And again, there are certain things, overspeeding, as the case may be, is caused by most of these commercial vehicles because they are not on salary-based commission. It is how you run that you are paid. Then again, another thing, articulated vehicles, they are not considered for lower cadre of vehicles, be it keke or kada or other road users. They are not considered. These are major causes of road accidents. And I want to appeal with these solutions. We must be more patient on the road to avoid these things. It is better to be late than the late. It will help us. Then we should consider other road users. Above all, we should make sure our vehicles are in good shape, such that the avoidable accidents can be avoided.
All right. Thank you, Noifra. Thank you so much.
Good morning.
Morning to you. Thanks so much for your submission. 0814-335-9292. 0814-335-9292. If you are not able to get through to the line, please send us an SMS to 0912-699-9404. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Okay, unfortunately, we lost connection with you. Try to call back. The line is still open. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you. Regards to the guys in the studio there.
Thank you.
My name is Ondum Bayun. I'm calling at the National Market here in Makoni.
On the Hemba who?
Yes.
On the Hemba who?
Your name.
Your name. Okay.
Your name.
Good. Good.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. On the
Yes. I want to report this issue that has been trending in the Makodi municipality, especially those Okadas. There is this policy that they have initiated. They are using in Makodi here. Whenever they're on the machine, they normally use their rag to clean either it's their tire or whatever. I don't know what they normally bend to clean or to erase on their machine whenever they're on the road moving. But there's something, we never had an accident causing that kind of issue. So if the authority can work on that issue, I don't really know what they can gain by doing that. And then another thing is this road at this balcony. So you are going to a lady, and after this PDP secretariat, the road there is very, very bad. So if the authority can do something about it, as they have been doing. Then another issue is that those traffic controller, especially at this modern market junction, so you are going to modern market. The country is very, very tough down that we find difficult to operate. It's not our wish to enter Okada, two people at the same time. But it's because of the cost. At times we enter Okada, two people, you see them, two people carrying them to Okada, carrying two people at the center. So whenever they get to that body market junction, those traffic, they will arrest them. And they will detain them under the tree there. I don't know whether they will collect money from Okada and then set them free. The same Okada will still carry people and then go to modern market or wherever they're going. Okay. So I think the authority should look into this issue. Which is not my wish to enter Okada with people at the center because of the cost. Okay. And it will reduce the cost whenever they carry two people at the same time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ondamba. Yes. Thank you. Okay, 0814-335-9292. 0814-335-9292. That's the line to call on the program. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning to you.
Yeah. Fine. My name is Uncle Peter. I'm calling from High Level.
Would like to know your full name, Peter.
Uncle Peter.
Oku.
Peter Ode.
Okay, Peter Ode.
Peter.
All
Yes.
right, Peter Ode, go ahead.
Okay, indeed, I want to thank you so much and the guests in the house. Indeed, as I'm talking to you now, my heart is bleeding because of what the carelessness of the driver that caused me. That sent one of my brother to early grave last month.
Condolences to you.
You know what I want to do in my own is it's not too much. I thought the federal government had said something like that before, that they are supposed to do the test of psychiatric test to all the drivers and the Okada. My advice is that if possible, that they will revisit it again. Because there's nothing special in Ember mood and not that mood. It is human being that is create all these things for themselves. So my advice is that, or my suggestion is that, let the federal government start to the state, revisit that again, so that they will do the test. Some people are not, your people are not aware, because your life, somebody will no need to tell you that you're supposed to take care of your life before you do it. And they are continue doing it every year, every day. And they are not stopped. So if possible, let the federal government start to the state. They do the psychiatric test to all the drivers down to the Okada. That's the only thing that I want to advise this morning.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Peter Ode. Thank you. Oh, anyway, as we go along, we'll find out if the road safety has got such an initiative or a test like that. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Welcome to Perspectives.
Thank you very much. My name is Kenneth. I'm calling here in Makudi.
All right, which part of Makudi, Kenneth?
Okay, OGRA.
Good to have you join us. Go ahead, Kenneth.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I will let me commend you first for this topic. It's quite nice, and the guests in the studios. There's a lot of work that needs to be done on Nigerians, particularly here in Makudi, the state capital. If we look at it, where for the past 16 to 17 years ago, there's been this rural-urban migration, where a lot of young people have moved from rural areas to the town, and the first job most of them, get themselves engaged in is the Okada riding. These motorcycles and tricycle and the rest, because that one is just most common for you to get to know the town first. And most of these people come in like this doesn't have much idea. They doesn't have an idea. They don't have knowledge about road signs or roads using. So I will advise here strongly that it's a duty and responsibility of the Road Safety Commission, if at all, they can be having this kind of program on a weekly basis or maybe twice in a week. And then, of course, they should try as much as possible to be organizing town hall meetings. Sensitization and awareness campaigns program should be carried out on a weekly or on a monthly basis, inviting the Okada riders, inviting the motorists, people who use road users, so to speak. I think it will help us go a long way, because I tell you, if you go to town, 85 to 90% of the people that make use of the roads while riding doesn't have an idea on what they're supposed to apply on the road while using the roads. It will amaze you when you're driving in town. You see a lot of things happening. We happen to have some traffic lights at some junctions in town here, and most people doesn't respect us, traffic, until when they see a uniformed person standing by the side, to regulate that, to control the traffic. So please and please, this is just my appeal. I appreciate Agate Radio for doing a wonderful program. So on the side of the receptive, let them as much. Let them, it doesn't cost anything. Come on air just the way you come today. Sensitize people. I believe that out of 10, about 9 or 8 people will listen to what you're saying, and then they will take it into cognizance. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kenneth. Thank you so much for your contribution. 0814-335-9292. 0814-335-9292. Also, the line for SMS is available. 0912-699-9404. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning, Mr. Nathan.
Welcome to Perspectives.
Good morning, guests in the house.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Tefa Estik, calling from KN Kano, northwest part of Nigeria this morning.
All right, good to have you join us, Tefa Kiruke. How is Kano this morning?
Yesterday, around 3 a.m., we had shower of rain. But today, the weather is very sunny.
Okay, but I hope there are no accidents. we sympathize with the people of Kaduna. There was a heavy accident there on Idi Malud. I hope Kano didn't witness that.
We did it. You know, Kano is a populated state, so every time traffic always be congested, even though they have
all right,
cars.
Okay, Tefa can be our correspondent for weather and traffic issues. Okay, make your submissions on what we are discussing, Tefa.
Okay. To me, you see, during this Ember month, sensitization has to take place. Each of nuke and chronic of the state, so that motorists or cyclists, that is Okada, they will be aware of this time. Most of the time, people used to rush because of Ember this month. But if the stakeholders, that is the road safety, the DIU, the NURCW, that is union, they can come together so that they can be holding township from all the 23 local government and the state capital, so that they can be enlightening the members of general public. I think as they will reduce BRS minimum. And to me, most of times people use this Ember month. They say that they should rush so that they can meet up with their target during December, and which is not good. To me, I'm begging on the relevant government, let them stop selling alcohol in motor parks and some joints. I think by that we reduce the accident. And passengers should form association when they are applying route or they are on transit, so that they can enable all those road accidents. And road safety should ensure to apply speed limit device for both private and commercial. I think by that we have a better sensitization to take place in this Ember month. That is my contribution this month.
Thank you, Tefa.
It's my pleasure. Have a nice day.
Have a great day too. Stay safe. Okay, let's engage back in the studio briefly before we go back to the callers. And we'll start with the concern raised by James Zege. He is a driver with the Benue State University Teaching Hospital. He identified himself as being so. He wants to know what the public should know about casualty, ambulance, and the other siren users. We listen to him. Both of you listen to him. I will start with you, Sector Commander, before I come to Mr. Asemanya.
Okay.
You listen to the scenario he painted.
Yes.
Very well.
It's very unfortunate. It's very, very unfortunate, actually. In our advocacy, in our public enlightenment, we tell members of the public they should give way to ambulance. Though, when we go for advocacy, some of them tend to say, some of them don't even, they are empty vehicles. They are empty ambulance. Like the scenario he pointed out. Of course, he was not carrying a victim, but blood that wanted to use to rescue a victim. So we normally tell them to please give way to ambulance. Allow them to have a right of way, because they are trying to save a life. And we also tell at Gridlock area, at Junction, the traffic warden, the traffic controller, the traffic warden should also give attention to ambulance. They should let them have a right of way, because they are on emergency. So we tell them, and the other one he raised.
Sector Commander, it does appear the traffic warden usually are of the police force, right?
Yes.
Do you have a synergy, working synergy with them? Do you sensitize them? Because for a traffic warden to say this to a driver, that you people just carry dead bodies and are harassing people, such a situation, is there a proper understanding of their work schedule?
There is. We have engagement.
In collaboration with you?
Yes, we have engagement. In fact, like the town hall meeting we're going to have next month, we are going to engage them. We invite them, the Nigerian police, the traffic warden, the VIO, all stakeholders in traffic management will be invited, and some of these issues will also be addressed. We engage them a lot. And like I said, even sometimes, not just the traffic warden, even drivers sometimes don't give way to ambulance. They don't. So we need to let the members of the public know that once they see an ambulance with siren, they should pull over, let him go. Let him have a right of way, because he's trying to save a life. And unfortunately, the life he's saving may even be that of your relatives, in case you don't know. It may be the life of your loved ones. We have seen cases like that. That an ambulance was blocked, was not allowed to pass. At the end of the day, he was taking somebody's wife who was in labor to the hospital. Eventually, the person died. Only for the driver to know that it was the wife of a relative. We tell the members of the public, not just the traffic wardens, even the road users.
Okay, but on a general note, in other parts of the world, it is often said that ambulances are used purely for cases of emergencies. It's only here in Nigeria that commonly we get to hear they are used for convey corpses. Is there any difference between the siren of a casualty ambulance and the one that is conveying corpse?
Definitely, there is. There is, because the one conveying corpse don't, apart from the normal convoy and the normal ceremony, they don't, I'm not too sure they will want to have a right of way when they get to a traffic gridlock. The ambulance, the siren is different. The sound is different. It's quite different.
All right, Mr. Asemanya, this help us understand the context.
Yes.
Of, what is right.
What Zege said is true, because there are two movements in rescue operations. One, you are at your base. You are being called. There is an incident in Wurukum, and your base is maybe high level or not bank. As you are moving to go and rescue those people, you need a right of way to enable you get there on time to save life from premature death. As you are picking again, you are coming back, you still have to get a right of way to the nearest hospital facility. So I've seen it severally that the ambulance that convey corpses, everybody, even at a glance, you know that this one is conveying a corpse, because you see the coffee inside the ambulance, and you see numbers of vehicles following the corpse, and you also see cameraman on top trying to film. Nobody will be on an emergency trip, will be trying to demonstrate, be moving very slowly at the roundabout as if he's moving like a snail. So that's the difference between the emergency ambulance that goes to victim. But the ones that convey corpse are really different. People see them, and they don't keep their siren for a long period of time. They only do it in the town.
Yeah.
And once they're getting to a community, they also on it. And once they're going inside where they are going to drop the corpse,
and they move slowly.
They move slowly because other vehicles are coming behind. And usually, for most of them who don't even know the road, there is a leading vehicle that controls their speeds. Because I've seen a case whereby a woman that has passed on, they put her corpse from St. Teresa Hospital. They are moving to her village in the east. At the Kasinala Street T-junction, the T-junction in between the Kasinala Street by Conshisha Street, a vehicle came and knocked them up. The corpse came out, everything scattered. That trip did not move again. So people need to respect anybody coming with siren, especially those going for emergency services. But just like what happened last week, the fire service, I don't know, people give right of way for fire brigade vehicles. You know, they are very heavy. If you call them for fire outbreak, you are also calling road safety. You are also calling 24 hours, because they are there to ensure that they extinguish the fire. Why we, 24 hours NGOs, were also there to evacuate
the victims,
the casualties of the burnt properties, either they are inside or they are outside. So right of way need to be given. My NGO has also tried a lot by trying We have synergies with the police, just as Oga has said. We also have synergies with that particular spot in that Benue links. These days, we will just get 1 or 2 people to educate those particular people at that spot.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. This is Comrade Okoro calling from Naka, Asia.
Okoro who?
Wabia.
Okoro Wobia, good to have you. Hi, Snaka this morning.
Oh, the weather is very, very friendly, not hot, not cold, just moderate like that.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, speak to us, Okoro.
Yeah, I thank all of you, especially all other these other resource persons in the studio.
Thank
Send
you.
my greetings to them. You see, you raised one issue. The corps commander raised one issue involving this reckless driver carrying lives of people. And it's true, it seems to have become an established norm, especially during this period. You see them running in the midst of lives of people. Sometimes I don't know whether they take drugs. But at times, just like the man pointed out, he said, when passengers see such scenario, you need to advise the driver to calm down, which we have been doing. Sometimes you tell the driver, say, please, it's too much. Sometimes he will not adhere to your instructions. And sometimes when we get to a point where security men are, we used to report. Sometimes the security man will question the driver, please, your passengers are complaining. I can tell you one incident that took place some time ago. Immediately we left the security point. The man said, okay, today you will see something. I think you reported me. In fact, he doubled the speed. So what I am trying to find out now is, when you see such a situation, what do you do?
Okay.
You, the corps commander, you know much about what I'm talking about. What do you do when you report an ugly situation like this, a security person, instead of driver taking advice, he will rather worsen the situation. When you see such a situation, what do you do next?
All right. Okoro, thank you. Okoro Wobia. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. 0814-335-9292. 0814-335-9292. Hello, good morning. Hello. 0814-335-9292. If you are not able to get through to the line, simply send an SMS to 0912-699-9404. Okay, we are still having a glitch, but we'll attempt more and see what we can do at this time. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen in the studio.
Welcome to Perspectives.
Yes, thank you very much. I am Mr. Emmanuel Abba from the High Modern Market.
All right, good to have you join us on Perspectives, Emmanuel.
Thank you very much. I want to start by saying that the earlier callers have pointed out some irregularities as concerns road use in particular. Particularly as it concerns the use of sarin. You know, all boils down to the attitude of we Nigerians. You know, for instance, the traffic man that didn't give a right of way to the ambulance driver. You know, it was as a result of the abuse. You know, I'm not trying to, to speak for anybody, but from my own observation as a person, is from the attitude of other sarin captured drivers. By that I mean other ambulance drivers. You know, the way they used to behave before that day, that have given that road safety officer that mindset to think that after all he was carrying cops, why must he be given the right of way? You know, okay, ambulance, we have drivers of ambulances. Some of them are not hospitals owned, some are private owned ambulances, and you see how they abuse the use of sarin from time to time. It's all boils down to our attitude. Everything they are saying is all about our attitude. I know if you do not enforce, laws are there, and if you do not enforce the law, it amounts to nothing. But we should have that self conviction that we are supposed to do what is right at all times, so that will help the law enforcement agents in discharging their duty. We know the right thing to do, yet we don't do them. We should go back to how we used to be. Now the indiscipline in the society is on the increase. Resistance to obedience, resistance to law is on the increase, and we complain of those who are leading us not to be doing the right thing. It is on this note that I'm calling on fellow Nigerians that we should do what is right because we know them.
All right.
Talking about vehicle, we are not even talking about articulated vehicles like Dangotes, tankers. They are the major recalcitrant set of drivers on the highway. They don't respect any other road users. They as if there is nothing regulating their own activity on the highway.
Thank
The
you,
road
Emmanuel.
safety is sometimes they are helpless to me, because as if they cannot even enforce road traffic laws or road traffic rules on the articulated vehicles, on the trailers, on the tankers, because they
Emmanuel, thank
even
you.
look at the road safety on the road, and as if they are not worth respecting,
All
as
right.
if they cannot even stop, they will not be able to stop them.
Thank you,
It's
Emmanuel.
not
We
boils
should
down to
conclude now.
attitude.
Thank you.
Have a change of attitude.
Oh, okay, thank you. We must have to disconnect with you. Thank you. We should change attitude, do the right thing. You have stressed that. Thank you so much for calling in. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Nathaniel.
Good to have you join us.
Dondole James from Apa in both local government of Benue.
Okay, Dondove, speak to us
In
briefly.
regards to Asemanya and the other officer in the studio with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is the right time for the program. Ember month, always rushing less than me. And we should know that after the period, life continues as well. So we should be very careful. Drivers, especially this time around, they just want to be ahead all the time. And even the passengers are also joined in the trying to reach areas to meet friends and families and then come back at very quick possible time. But life is so precious, so we should always be mindful of the way we rush. We're always rushing, we always rush us at the end of the day, so we should be very careful all the time.
All right.
My question now is the road safety. You see, this time around, when people just graduate from Okada to become vehicle drivers, it wasn't so in the past. People used to go to, driving schools, and they do it diligently, get the certificate, and then become drivers. Are those schools functional again at all?
All right.
People are just cutting corners and becoming drivers. They have to check this very well, so that whenever a driver is on the road, they should seek for the papers, and those people that give the papers to be mindful of the fact that this person has gone through all the woes in a driving school before issuing certificates to such people. Thank you.
Thank you, James. Thank you very much for calling in. 0814-335-9292. 0814-335-9292. Hello, good morning. Hello. Okay, unfortunately we lost the connection, but let's try to see if we can. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Nathaniel.
Welcome to Perspectives.
Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, my regards to all your guests in the studio, sir.
Thank you. May we know your name, please?
Yes, my name is Vincent Ako. I'm calling from Ishabakut Road.
All right, good to have you join us. Make your submission.
Yeah. First of all, I want to thank my boss there, the former advisor to Governor Suswan on public utility, Mr. Gaddafi Asemanya. The man has been doing a very wonderful job in Benue State. I want to say that road safety people should stop impounding heavy-duty vehicles at the middle of the road, claiming that the driver stubbornly refused to park well. Oftentimes, I've seen them doing that and nobody is talking to them, sometimes they will just cause hold up at the middle of the road. If you go to find out what is causing the hold up, you discover that the road safety people in found either one big vehicle saying that the driver stubbornly refused to park well. So if any driver refuses to park well, they should look for a way to tow the vehicle instead of allowing the vehicle to block people. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Vincent. Thank you. Okay. Sector Commander.
Yes.
Let's begin with the concern raised by
Comrade Okoro.
Yes. Yeah. Good enough. So let's start off there.
Okay. He actually raised a very germane, an important issue.
Very well.
Yes. Because sometimes you tell the drivers and the driver will start misbehaving. We have seen cases like that. In fact, there was a case last month. A driver left Lagos and was going towards Taraba. This driver was carrying fuel in the keg, about 200 liters, 50 liters, about 4 of them in the vehicle. One of the passengers now complained, this is very risky and dangerous. The driver said, that's not your business, that the fuel is very scarce and expensive in Taraba State. And you are not even considering the lives of the passengers you are carrying. What one of the passengers did was to call this 122, the FRC emergency number, and complained this is the situation. So she described the location, and the vehicle was stopped somewhere around Ondo State. They had to inform all the FRC formation along the road. Yes. So eventually they mounted roadblock for him somewhere around between Akure and Owo, and he was paused. He was arrested and prosecuted. So when you have such situation, please, even if some of them they may not even stop for police road safety checkpoint when they stop them, but call that number, report such case to 122, and something will be done about it.
All right. So Okoro Wobia, you listen to that. I hope you may explore that when faced with such a situation, and any other commuter, not just
Hello, sir, Mr. Nathaniel.
Yes,
Good
welcome.
morning, sir.
Morning.
Regards to all the guests in the studios.
Thank you.
My name's Okomoses E. I'm calling from North Bank, Makodi.
All right, good to have you, Okomoses.
My take on this matter is it pains some of us when we are from a country where money answers to all things. You see, I grew up, my father told us, whenever you are driving on the road and you see a crowd gathering, stop and know what is happening before you move further ahead. Okay, you are driving on the road and you see crowd. Some persons now, it is at that spot that they will increase their speed. Okay, it still told us that if you are driving, approaching a city, minimize. When you see goats crossing, when you see pig and all these animals crossing, minimize. And one thing I want to advise us is that if you are riding bike, ride the one you are riding, and you also have to ride another person's own.
Yeah.
Because if you say you are conscious of accident, the other person coming is not conscious of accidents. So you have to ride your own, you ride another person's own. If you are a driver, you drive your own steering, you drive another person's steering. Because if you are running problem, the other person don't even know what is problem. So I want to suggest to all road users this time around, you watch where before you cross, and you watch where before you drive. Whenever you see people gathering, always try to slow down. It's a normal thing.
All right.
So that is my take. Thank you.
Okomoses, thank you for your submission. 0814-335-9292. Send us an SMS to 0912-699-9404. A few more calls, and then we'll try to conclude here in the studio. Good morning. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Good morning. You are on. Speak to us.
Good morning.
Yes. Welcome.
How is the work?
Very well, sir. Thank you for calling in.
My regard to the to the studio
Thank you,
and
sir.
all the men there.
Yes.
My regard to Age Radio.
Thank you.
My name is Ade Mike.
Okay. Ade Mike, where are you calling us from?
From Makodi, Wurukum.
Okay. Go ahead.
I want to observed that anytime road safety are at the food basket runabout here in Makodi, that is where traffic will become a problem. And so the essence of uh, runabout will be defeated. So runabout control traffic by itself. If a driver try to be careful or any other road user careful, runabout control traffic by itself because of its nature. So it does not need any police, does not need any VIO, it does not need any road safety. So their duty is not needed there. It's any time when they come, that is the time traffic will be congested at the runabout. But where there is none of them there, the traffic will be normal. So please, that is my observation. And secondly, the other things that they have been doing alone, they should also look at the other side of linking with FEMA. Anywhere there is a bad road, the attention of FEMA should be drawn to there. But instead, it is where there is a bad road that the road safety will go and mount their block and be stopping vehicle, and the road will not be safe there or other places, and they will not care. So the essence of road safety of checking road where they are bad is not seen and carried out. So I want to draw the attention there too. Okay. And the issue of road maintenance, you see this there is between George Akume Junction, when you are from Wurukum to road safety junction, there is a point that is very, very bad all the time. The road, water is washing the road there. There is a female and a lady and a young man that always make sure they control that place. But because it is manually done and nothing happen again, anytime they do it, it will be washed away. The road is always bad there. Right. And the road safety's office is very close there. Over the years, that thing has been happening and the attention is not drawn to that place to link with the FEMA for something to be done permanently. So I feel that road safety should look at the road itself, not only vehicle alone.
Thank you.
So that is what I want them to look at it.
But you have made your submission. Thank you. We really understand you. For want of time, we'll stop at that. And that's the last call. We'll accommodate on today's edition. I'll start again with you, Sector Commander, before later on I'll come back to Mr. Asemanya. One of the callers, Donduve James from Akpai, made questioned about driving school, where people are graduating from Okada to drivers instantly. Is there any form of training you subject people to properly for them to man the roads driving?
Yes. Before now, if you want to obtain driver's license, you must go to driving school. And the driving school is now equipped more than before. You have to go through 26 sessions of driving technique. You'll be engaged in different areas of driving, and it takes about 26 days before you can be issued a certificate. There's no corner. You can't cut corner. You must attend these 26 sessions, 1 hour every day. Then plus practicals. So it is after these 26 days that a certificate will not be issued to you. You write an exam and you must have 60% minimum before the certificate can be issued. Everything is automated. It's not something that is manual. So before you now go to proceed to the driver's license center for test and for issuance of driver's license. So it is not. That is why we collaborate with VIO, State Board of Internal Revenue, to make sure that once your license expires or you don't even have any, you'll be apart from fining you'll be forced to obtain one before you are left off the hook.
Okay, and briefly before we come back,
the issue of the road, the condition of the road.
Yes. Mike touched on that.
Yes,
I was going to come to that, but maybe you want to react to some of the subjects. Yes, are you working in collaboration with FEMA? Because oftentimes Nigerians question that you arrest vehicles for not being roadworthy. But are you checking the roads with the agencies to ensure the roads are vehicle worthy in the first place?
Yes, we do it. On a quarterly basis, we carry out what is called road safety audit across the state, across the country. We do it on a quarterly basis, and we inform we advise all the agencies involved. One of such is, the road very close to National Open University. You see that there was an erosion that was actually eating deep into the road. Carry out an audit and advise the FEMA and the Ministry of Works, and the palliative measure was actually applied there. If you go there now, you see that it's better than what it used to be. So we do it. We carry out a survey, a road safety audit, and we advise all relevant stakeholders accordingly.
Okay, so based on this audit, are there particular traffic corridors within Benue State that are posing danger to commuters at the moment?
Yes, one of some is one I just mentioned now.
That is just within the state.
Within the state.
So you have 12 unit commands across.
I said we carry out audit across the state.
Very well. So
yes.
Draw out the attention of motorists and road users to some of these deplorable states, including those outside of Makurdi. I mean.
Yes, like the one mentioned by our caller. It's yes. An example. We across the state, we carry out the survey and we advise the relevant authorities so that such measure that palliative measure can be applied. And we also inform the general public. Sometimes we said that there are three causes of crashes on the road: the human factor, the environmental factor, which is the road, and the mechanical. So we said we should concentrate on the road. When you get to a place where the road is bad, reduce your speed and drive cautiously so that you don't get your vehicle spoiled or get yourself involved in a crash.
And maybe you may advise your men to stop mounting checkpoints at the points where the roads are already deplorable, because as a traveler, I have witnessed it firsthand too. Yes. So maybe you may need to take action on that.
Yes, that one is, we have taken note of that. And also, like the concern raised by one of the callers that I think he was talking about at Wuruku roundabout. Our men don't go to roundabout. We don't go there, except there's need for it. What is actually causing traffic gridlock at roundabout is that vehicles are parked indiscriminately, either to pick passengers or to, that is what is actually causing gridlock there. So sometimes they go there just to make sure that vehicles are not parked on the road. We don't have anything to do at roundabout.
All right, a few messages and we'll come back. Good morning, sir. I am Timothy Moore from behind Industrial Layout. I wish to implore the law enforcement agencies to stop constituting the checkpoints into law courts where offenders are tried, convicted and fined at the spot. They should allow the law to take its course. If road users could be compelled to obey traffic laws, it will also reduce avoidable accidents. Thanks and may God bless. Timothy, thank you for your message. Another one here says, good morning, I get radio. Thank you for this program this morning. It is timely. Let the people stop the rushing, because many of the accidents today are caused by rushing and overspeeding. I am a victim of this morning along Radio Benue on Odutupo Road. Sympathies to you. An Okada who was rushing dodged a pothole and hit me at the back, and now I am down with injuries. Oh,
sorry.
Sincere sympathies to you. Richard Ajekwe from Makurdi. Richard, we're sorry you have had to face this situation. We wish you a speedy recovery from the injuries. Mr. Asemanya, our time is no longer there, but let's speak briefly on the menace of articulated vehicles, the heavy-duty trucks in our palace, on our roads, and what other road users need to be conscious about when they see these articulated vehicles on the roads.
Yeah, it's very sad because I will have a lot of experience with these articulated vehicles, trailers conveying cement, trailers conveying goods, and most of them, if you look at them, they don't even have brake lights on their back, and most of them they are underage drivers. When I call underage drivers, transition from main driver, from conductor to driver. Because most times, if it is if the main driver is tired, he transfers the steering to the conductor,
the
motorboy who is trying to also teach. I have a very bitter experience with one of the Dangote vehicles. At that same junction, two callers said by that Benue links, an Okada rider and one other woman were crushed. The woman's leg have to be amputated. Till today, as I speak to you, that careless attitude of those company and vehicles, none of them have come to see the woman in the hospital. She spent 1 month in the hospital facility in the Benue State Teaching Hospital. After the treatment, none of them came. Till today, the vehicle is still parked at the police. Nothing is happening. So I want to use this medium. That's why I was saying that Federal Road Safety Commission has to review their law to take care of other issues that are not taken care in the law. That's why our legislators who are at the National Assembly need to do good work. One, night driving need to be stopped by this vehicle. They should have their particular time that they move. In other parts of the world, you see vehicles have time that they move. This time around, you see them moving, struggling for road. They don't even respect other vehicles. And even though they hit you, they run. They don't even stop because you cannot chase them. Except maybe it takes God's grace if you have numbers of other security agencies. Like the vehicle I was talking about, if you go to area command, the vehicle is parked there. The driver just abandoned the vehicle there. Nobody is talking to the woman. They have amputated the woman's leg. The woman is going through a lot of trauma. Nobody is talking to her. They invited them to the court. They are not even appearing. So if road safety, that is sort of the responsibility of managing our roads, behavior of vehicles, if the law can be amended, what is the victim's right? Victims don't have right. It's just a traffic accident where the police will come and say, because even though they are involved in the prosecutions are not well done.
All right. We are really out of time, so I'll beg that you stop at that so we can conclude. Sector Commander, your concluding words in 30 seconds, please.
Okay. My advice, I want to advise road users to please obey traffic rules. We are in Ember month, and we should try and do what is right to avoid accident on our roads. Make sure that before you embark on any journey, leave home in time so that you not be in a hurry, and ensure that you check your vehicle and make sure that it is mechanically sound. And when you are on the road, don't drive dangerously. Drive within the speed limit, and ensure that if you are a passenger, don't distract your drivers. Allow your driver to concentrate. And in the situation where your driver is misbehaving on the road, report him to the nearest FRC formations.
Corps Commander Steve Ayodele is the Sector Commander, Federal Road Safety Corps, Benue State Sector Command. He joined us here on today's edition of Perspectives to give a sensitization on traffic safety during Ember month period, which is Agate Radio's corporate social responsibility. We appreciate you, Sector Commander, for finding time to join us.
Thank you.
Mr. Gaddafi Asemanya is a founder and chief executive officer, 24-hour Road Accident Victim Support Initiative. He's a former senior special assistant to a former Benue State governor on public utilities. Thank you very much indeed for your time, Mr. Asemanya.
Thank you very much.
Dear listener, that's our program today. Stay safe and join us Friday for a fresh edition of Perspectives. My name is Nathaniel Nongu. Goodbye, and I will be here on Friday to take you through. God bless you. Have a great Wednesday ahead. Bye-bye.